everyone, I hope you are well. Today is the first harvest festival of Lunasar, or as some call it, Lammas, and this is the first harvest festival. So we're just going to do a little healing and a little talking about this festival. So as I light this candle, I want you to imagine this at the center of your being, at the core of you. And as the flame glows and grows, just imagine pushing it outwards from all sides of your body to the top and to the bottom. And this is the light of Lu, the Irish sun god. Lu, the light that shines so bright. And he is particularly from Ireland, thought to be the head of the Tuatha De Danann. And on the wheel of the year, Lughnasadh is now here. And if we were to hold this at Yule, we've moved all around here to Lughnasadh or Lammas. Directly opposite Imbolc, which the Australians are having now, which is the birth of the year, the child of the year. And now we sit at the other point as we move into autumn from now. And it is a festival of life, death and rebirth, because at this time of year we cut John Barleycorn, we cut him down and winnow him, separating the wheat from the chaff. And then we bake the bread and share it about. Here is our offering of bread. And we also drink mead. I will put the details of this in the show notes. But let's pour some mead out. Don't need very much of it, but at this time of the year, the honeybees are busy and mead is made from honey. Okay, so you've protected yourself with your candle. Now let's grow the roots down into the ground, downwards and downwards and downwards. And as you grow your roots into the rich, fertile earth, I'm going to pull out an ogham. And we have Hwaith, hawthorn, so I will draw that down you, and I am remembering to draw this the right way round. Just imagine those beautiful hawthorn roots growing down, down and down, and this is a tree of action. So at this time of the year, you would want to be thinking about the harvests that you have reaped after your hard work. and about what you want to put in place for this next part of the year, for the next 4 months. So I'm going to use some wild oat today, the Bach remedies, and if you are feeling directionless, uncertain and aimless, this will help you. Let's pop that in the mead. So it will help you become purposeful, focused, satisfied, and work with conviction. And I'm just going to show you on a body map where this would go. So we only need the arms. And let's use this as a proxy. So you'd put it here. Just imagine that being put onto your arm now. Feel its wetness and just let it sink in. And we'll just lay that aside to take effect. And the messages on the back. Pursue one great aim with force and determination. The soul which has no fixed purpose in life is lost. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. And you may wonder what this is. This is where my grove are meeting up today. And it is a chalk figure called the Long Man of Wilmington, and that is where we meet. And because I can't be there, I have brought him into this little ritual. So we know what Lunasar is now. It was a feast day, about a month's break, 2 weeks leading up to August and 2 weeks over August, when the tribes would meet. Deals would be struck, mass hand fastings would be conducted, and deals and things were done. It is a time to be reaping what you sow. Time of pleasure, of bounty, but a time of knowing that the dark period is coming. So we'll pop that there as well. We'll just put Wyth there. But we've also got this wild oat. So just now, I'd like you to imagine that you're sitting on a hillside somewhere in Ireland. You can see the yellow and green fields, and as you watch the fun and games below you of the fair, you also watch the wheat wolves blow through the grass. You know, those patterns that the wind makes. Just feel that breeze and look at the patterns, perhaps even scry in the patterns that the wheat wolves make. And just cast your mind back over the year, right the way from February. Let's start at the beginning of February, when we were starting to think about spring and what we would put into place this year. 6 months has passed from then to now. what did you make good? What have you achieved so far? Even the little things. Perhaps you wanted to be a bit more patient. Perhaps you wanted not to bite back so quickly. Have you achieved that? Even if it's just a few times. And at this time of year, many of the colleges, universities and schools are going back. So what are you aiming to do for this coming whole year? Because we kind of have two New Years, don't we? We have the one at the solstice, the winter solstice, and then we have the new semester, I think you Americans call it. So the start of a new phase of moving around the wheel. A time to meet new friends and renew acquaintances of old. A time to share some of the bounty. Perhaps it's a good time for you to go foraging. I know here in the UK the blackberry harvest is just starting to come in, and blackberry is also an ogham, and I'll draw a moon. Push that in, and that is for happiness, full health and abundance. So maybe in a week or two, or even now as it's been so warm, start looking and foraging along the hedgerows, looking for those bilberries, blackberries, wild raspberries, the first fruits of harvest. And as you take them for yourself, remember to leave some for the Fae and the gods of old. They'll hear you. Just leave a few at the bottom of a tree or on a rock. And whoever comes along that lives on this sweet green earth can also share in your bounty. And let's just look at this tarot card from the Arthurian tarot by John Matthews. The Sun card. Lu, the long arm of Lu, who instead of killing Brez, exchanged knowledge of the harvest and of cultivation and spared his life. What concessions can you make at the moment? And see how proud he is sitting on his horse. He has direction. Perhaps renew your directions. Let's take our mind back to sitting on that hill, watching the wheat wolves move through the barley and the corn, knowing that John Barleycorn, also a personification of the Green Man in a way, will give his life for us now and be reborn and transformed into bread. And let's just watch the processions below, the games, kind of like the Olympics they would have been. Maybe they would have hurled a sword or a javelin, had running races, sang and danced into the evening and all throughout the next day, made those acquaintances of new people, renewed old ones. And as you sit here, you catch a glimpse of something running through a meadow, big ears and a strong, muscular body, with little ones running behind, the mother hare and her leverets, escaping out of the field so that they don't get caught up in the harvest. And hares, very magical animal, are thought to personify witches or wise women who would transform into them, considered to be very lucky. Just watch how they run, and they move forward as well in their life to the next phase, where they move out of the field, and the little ones will start to make their way in this world, as you perhaps start to make your way, and your new class, your new year, your new university or college. So I'm just going to send healing from Lughnasadha to you. And there is a few things that you can also do to welcome in this festival today. Light a candle, study the flame. Know that the light of Lu shines down from the sun into you and energizes you, gives you hope and strength for the coming next 4 spokes of the wheel. And these Lunasar energies will continue for the next 3 weeks, and then we move around the wheel to Mabon, or the equinox, the autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere, that time of balance of equal day and night. And even though Mabon is 6 weeks away, the energy shifts halfway between the festival. So for the next 3 weeks, break your bread, drink your mead, enjoy the last fruits of summer. So let's just grow these roots out, knowing they get nourished by the sun. Growing them down. Just sweeping anything away. And even though this has not been a proper ritual as such, you've still partaken in a little event here. And I'm going to send a wish now out that everyone watching this has a fruitful and stable Lughnasadha period, carrying them forward into the next phase of the wheel. And I'm just going to draw the yew tree symbol down you. Iho, 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 iho. And that is what we drew. The ancient tree of the yew with its beautiful red and cream bark, so that this symbol carries down the timelines to all of those who watch this in the future, and perhaps even if you come across this at a different time of year to Lunasar or Lammas, you can still take something from this healing and meditation and put it into your life now. So I'm just going to leave you gently sitting in the breeze and the sun on this hill, looking down at the Lunasar Games in Ireland. Perhaps imagining your people, if you are of Irish descent, celebrating the first fruits of the harvest. And I wish you joy, love, and contentment, and most importantly, health and abundance for all of you and your families. Bye-bye now.